everybody. Welcome back to PMS, the Perpetual Motion Squad, a Big Bang Theory fan podcast. Oh, stop giving me that look. And we are your hosts, married couple, and Big Bang Theory super fans. Kat.
And a very perplexed Paul because I haven't done anything yet.
No, as I was doing this, as
I'm
Pikachu
literally
and I
just
were
sitting here.
celebrating the opening, you're giving me this. Oh my God, not
I
again.
am
Look.
literally okay. I'm literally just sitting here doing absolutely nothing whatsoever,
Those
except
on YouTube will be able to tell the story.
okay, the people on YouTube are very, very what will we say, are very privileged today.
Oh,
Why?
yes, they are. I'm
They
surprised
are.
you don't have your hat on.
No, I don't. But they are very, very privileged today. Now, those of you who are on Spotify and other places you're listening to the podcast, you can't see what I'm wearing today, but the
But
YouTube people can.
those who have been following us for a while and hung out with us for a while will understand the significance of it
Because we are now in fall right now
in Australia.
in Australia, I am now in my purple onesie. Yeah, baby.
Hmm.
Which means that this little guy here, we are twinsies. Barney and myself
Yes.
are one and the same. Now I'm just gonna move back a little bit so you can see in all the glory. See, purple onesie, purple Barney. But yeah, I'm in my onesie and I am loving it.
But speaking of purple, Paul was very generous to me yesterday and he bought me purple sparkly sneakers.
Well, before I did that, what did we do yesterday?
We went out to breakfast.
Yes, we
It was
drove.
nice.
Yep, we drove about 45 minutes to go to a brand new restaurant that I wanted to take her to for
Yep,
breakfast. We had a beautiful meal, and
we really
then
did.
then I had to go and get some shoes because I am at the age now. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not at the age. Okay, I'm going to be 54 in a matter of three
Yeah.
weeks, right? But however, I have been diagnosed with osteoarthritis. Now, most of you sit there and go, "Oh my God!" Well, I'll clue you in on my life. I get in and out of a car about 100 to 150 times a week.
A week.
So
A
I've
week.
been doing that for 27 years.
Hmm.
And over that repetitive strain injury, because obviously we drive on the right-hand side of the car, over that 27 years of getting in and out of the car, getting in and out of low cars, medium cars, four-wheel drives, I have now damaged my hip. And at some stage in the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, I'm going to obviously need a hip replacement.
Yeah, he's going to be looking at a hip replacement.
But I get to a point where I'm putting on my shoes now. Everybody who doesn't have this problem, you look down at your shoe and see your shoelaces and go, what is so hard about putting on your shoe? Nothing. I put on my left shoe, no dramas. Left sock, left shoe, tie it up, no dramas. I look at my right foot and go, do I really need to wear socks and shoes today? Could I just go barefooted? It is very
I accidentally
painful.
wore my bedroom slippers to work one day.
Yes, she did. No,
They
no,
well, they had the hard sole, so I forgot that I wasn't wearing real shoes,
yeah, nobody bothered
and
anyway.
nobody noticed.
No. Um, but
And I
I
didn't notice until I had to go out and pick up my lunch from the restaurant down the street.
and then realized it. Whoopsies. But then so because the fact that I've got this problem now, yay. I didn't sign on for the to being old, everyone, believe me. Um, I had to go and buy a brand new pair of sneakers. Now I Kat actually told me that there's these wonderful things called slip-on sneakers where you don't need to put any effort into doing up your
No, you
shoelaces.
just slide your foot in and you're done.
I went and bought my very first pair of slides.
Yep.
That is that's very depressing because I used to be really hip. Used to be very attractive. I used to be very together.
Still are very
I
attractive,
used to
mister.
have a
Even Gene Simmons says you're a powerful and attractive man.
I also used to have a new car smell. Not anymore, baby. My mileage is so far over the odometer. I seriously okay, I am very much like Penny. My check engine light has been on for the longest time and I keep putting tape over it going, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I won't argue with that.
And now the tape has fallen off and the check engine light is pretty much on all the time, and I am needing, I'm needing to go up on the hoist and get a full workover.
But he
So,
won't let me schedule him in with the doctor.
I actually said yes when I'm off because I'm off for 2 weeks, everybody.
Yeah.
So in three is it what 2 weeks time we're going
Yeah.
away to Sydney. Um, for anybody who's interested, I'm gonna let Kat tell you what are we doing at Sydney.
Well, I wasn't going to tell it until after we got back and people could tune into it, but so
Give him
thanks
give
for
him
ruining my thunder.
give him a little bit
Um,
of pre-thunder.
so I actually was contacted by this. Okay, so in Australia we have a um TV channel called SBS, and they have a show that they do called SBS Insights, which is just kind of a roundtable discussion. They've got like 40 people in the room and they talk to about a dozen of them. And they're doing a segment on love later in life. And I submitted some information about our relationship. And the producer called me and absolutely fell in love with our story, and they're actually flying us out to Sydney overnight to tape an episode of SBS Insights.
We're going to be on TV.
Yeah, we're going to be on TV. So we'll drop the link
Yeah. So
when
yeah,
that comes out so you guys can see it if you want.
yeah. But yeah, we can actually put it. We'd also put up the link on YouTube as well. So, but yeah. So other than the fact that I've now got my brand new pair of slides and I'm elderly. But anyway, I'm having 2 weeks off at the end of the month. So
Yep,
in that 2 weeks, I am going to be going to the doctors to find out exactly what my next options are for osteoarthritis. And it
yep.
is ridiculous because I'm not that old, everybody.
No, he's not. He's
No.
younger than I am.
Yes, but feel older than everybody. Now, I was just gonna say, first of all, I've got everything ready and prepared. So as of this taping right now, we have had 4,113 downloads.
Oh my goodness.
We've got 65 plus followers on Spotify, and our episodes just have just gone bunter as far as how many people what listen to our episodes on Spotify. So thank you
Hmm.
everybody who listens to us on Spotify and
Yep.
answers all the questions. Now, there was a question the other day, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because we got two answers on YouTube that I just want to highlight. So one of the questions was, and I just, of course, it would actually have to turn off right at the moment where I found it. This was season three, episode six, the Cornhusker Vortex. The question was, if your friends had to put you in a totally unnecessary competition, what would you probably win? Now we've got one answer on our Facebook page. Rachel actually commented and said, I would do well in plant growth or hand sewing or minor renovation. After working in theatre and helping my dad in the garden and farm, I have a bit of unconventional skill not used daily.
Yep.
That's really cool. Now, then I went on to our YouTube channel because apparently we actually have got we've actually had 20 followers now on YouTube. We had
Oh,
a brand new follower about 8 o'clock last night, which was really fantastic. Now, Christine was one of them that answered the answer here on on YouTube,
YouTube.
and she said, and this is right up your alley. Definitely Gilmore Girls trivia for me.
This is my person.
This is your person. Christine, email cat perpetual motion squad 00, that's the number 00, at gmail.com, and you and her will be best friends forever.
Mm.
Now apparently,
Gilmore Girls, Outlander, Call the Midwife.
yeah. Now
Yeah.
Ben answered a question, but it wasn't actually a question. Obviously, there's something that we mentioned about Kit or about Battlestar Galactica
Uh-huh.
or maybe the Cylon toaster.
Yep.
And he said the red, and I didn't realize this, the red running light on Knight Rider is actually comes from Battlestar Galactica. Both shows had the same creator. He himself confirmed that the red light on Kit was inspired by the Cylons from Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, that's cool.
Did not know that at
That's
all.
very
So
cool.
thank you for letting us know that. This is why we love our fam.
Yeah.
This is why they're so engaging. because I had no idea. I mean, seeing the running light on Kit and then seeing the Cylons, you think to yourself, okay, but you don't put two and two together. So that's fair. That's really awesome. So thank you for letting us know that one.
Yeah.
Now, we are now on one of the best episodes around. We are on
Yes.
season three, episode number 8, the adhesive duct deficiency.
Yes.
What did we think about this episode? I know what you're going to say.
This is one of my top five.
Yeah, definitely. I would say top 10 for me.
Yep.
Wouldn't say top 5, but definitely in my top 10. But
Yeah.
it is a awesome episode, this one. Now, do we have any trivia to start off with?
Um, no, it really starts in with the episode, I think.
Okay. So we are opening up the episode where we are in the desert. We've got Leonard, Howard, and Raj, and they're camping out in the desert to observe the
Leonid meteor
Leonid
shower,
meteor
which
shower.
if you've never seen it, it's amazing. Now, we've
Yeah.
got two pieces of trivia before you jump into the actual scene.
Okay.
So we're starting because and you can see the guys have set up a bunch of suitcases with a TV on top of it and a small satellite dish over to
Yeah.
the side.
Yeah.
And Raj is giving coordinates for the observation site 34.48 north, 118.31 west, which actually refers to the Vasquez Rocks Park, the location of several Star Trek original series episodes, including the one where Captain Kirk rolls a rock onto the reptilian Gorn. The Gorn does later make an appearance in two of Sheldon's dreams, the apology insufficiency in season 4, and again in the transporter malfunction in season 5. Also, the gang, as you know, makes one more visit to Vasquez Rocks in season 6, the Bakersfield expedition on their way to Comic-Con, where Leonard gets his car stolen while the gang is taking pictures, acting out scenes from Star Trek,
Yeah.
where you remember Sheldon's using his mind as a weapon.
Yeah.
But as a highly trained and qualified astrophysicist, he should have said 0.48 and 0.31, then 0.22 and 0.39.
Okay.
Now, Leonard tells the group T minus 5 hours, 37 minutes to the onset of the meteor shower.
Hmm.
Meteor showers don't have a precise onset time and they occur over a range of hours or days, whereas the peak is a more specific and scientifically meaningful reference with a definitive time. And I like how you actually do get to see part of the meteor shower while we're visiting with the guys
Yeah, but
there.
maybe it's just that thing where he's sort of like counting down the most optimum time for when it actually will possibly start,
Yeah.
I guess. But Raj would be the one that would be basically more in charge of that, wouldn't he? Because he's the astrophysicist. He should have been doing the countdown to say
Mm,
this is when it's about to
yeah.
start. So,
Yeah.
but of course, we're seeing that Raj is entering these map coordinates into the computer, and you're seeing that Howard is adjusting the satellite dish, and you're like, oh, okay, they're really getting it all set up to watch the meteor shower. Wrong.
Well, what was really interesting is that you also saw a decently powered telescope there.
Yeah,
You do not watch meteor showers with a telescope.
I didn't think so,
No, you don't.
because everyone
It's
is
too
going to.
small of an area and they're moving across the sky.
Yeah, so everyone's going to get a chance to see it anyway. I mean,
Hmm.
look, I've never seen ever in my entire life, I've never seen a meteor shower. So,
I've seen a couple of them, and it's basically the sky is filled with shooting stars.
oh, okay. Well,
That's basically what it looks like.
yeah, I mean, I remember a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away when Halley's Comet was coming over
Hmm.
and people ran out to try and see Halley's Comet. My mum
Yeah.
and dad and myself, when I was younger, went out to see Halley's Comet. We couldn't find it at
It
all.
was really cool. I've been through at least one Halley's Comet. And did you know, complete
Hmm.
little digression, but did you know that Mark Twain was born when Halley's Comet came through
Yeah.
and he died the next time in the year the next time it came through.
Wow.
He was
That,
76.
Jesus. Yeah,
The
that is
random crap you remember from grade school
that. Yeah, see,
or middle school.
people think you don't remember stuff from
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
But as I said, we're thinking that we're getting all the computer all set up, ready to go. No, they actually now have the free HBO feed from was it the East
It
Coast?
wasn't free. They hacked into
They hacked in
The West Coast feed of HBO.
yeah, and
And they
and
were
of course,
having real sex.
yeah, and then they're like, oh, and then of course then they go, okay, well, let's see what's happening on the East Coast. And we find out they're playing June. And that's when they realize, well, of course, Howard realizes that this is boring, so he goes back to real sex. So obviously
Yeah.
we know what TV show wins. Now, back in the apartment, in Sheldon and Leonard's apartment, Sheldon is writing his log that he's completed, or he's completing his paper on decay of high excited massive string states.
Now he's using a voice tape recorder,
Yeah, he
little
is.
mini tape recorder, and he says, Sheldon Cooper log, star date,
Yeah.
whatever. The star date Sheldon uses places him at May 7th, 2386, and the time at 12:49:40 a.m.
Okay.
By calculating a contemporary date using the Star Trek Stardate site, the stardate Sheldon uses represents November 17th, 2009, which is the day of the Leonid meteor shower and the day after the original airing of this episode. However, his stardate was 2 p.m., which is about 13 hours after the peak of the meteor shower in Los Angeles that night, unless there was some kind of time zone variance.
Oh, okay. Because as he's going through, he says, I'm completing this, but I miss the warmth of human companionship, which obviously we realize that that is complete bogus because not at
Well,
all.
okay. So when the boys are in the desert, Leonard says it's a shame Sheldon didn't come with us because and Raj and Howard are like, yeah, it's just not the same without him. And then they look at each other and just crack up laughing.
Yeah, because we
And then
know
sh-
that's not the case.
and then the next scene, Sheldon is doing his log and he says, "But I miss the warmth of human kindness," and then sits there for a moment and then does his little signature laugh.
Yeah. Now we also find out that Sheldon being on his own, he tries to order. He's ordering some food from the Thai restaurant, and he wants to order a quarter of the appetizer plate and one half of the golden treasure for two, which is completely fine. But there's a whole
But
thing.
they
The
say
Thai
there's no
restaurant, there's
reductions.
no reduction. So or the yeah, as we know, the Thai restaurant has no reductions and no. Or is it the Chinese restaurant
That
has
was
no
the Chinese
reductions?
restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Thai restaurant is just not able to cope with this, and this is where he says um he starts to talk about how in ancient culture they could do this thing, and then we hear Penny screaming for help. Now this, and I'm going to get to this after this next little thing because he hears her screaming for help, and he warns the Thai restaurant that his sharply worded comments on Yelp took down a local muffin store, right?
Yes.
And then obviously he's going to go and help Penny. He gets to Penny's apartment, he knocks on the door, and
Okay, now before we get into that, I would
yeah,
like to point out that we hear her clearly
yes.
in the boys' apartment.
Now the thing is that when we did this episode a long time ago before we had all the problems with the podcast being taken down, we
Mhm.
said the same thing and we're going to say the same thing today. So he knocks on Penny's apartment door. She calls for him to come in. He goes to her bedroom
Bedroom
door,
door.
knocks on the
Well,
door.
no, first he's like, "Where are you?" And she's like, "I'm back here."
Yeah. So he goes to the bedroom door and he goes, Should I come back at another time? And she says, Just get in here. So he knocks on the door and he comes into the bedroom. Then he goes to knock on the bathroom door and she says, Don't you dare knock, just come in. Now we see her laying in the shower because she slipped in the shower and has dislocated her shoulder.
But fortunately, she pulled the shower curtain down with her.
Yeah. Now, everybody, l- think about this rationally. She has yelled clearly through a bathroom door, a bedroom door,
Her door,
her door,
the
a
hallway,
hallway,
and his
in
door.
and their door
Yeah,
to be heard clearly in their apartment.
four doors and a hallway.
There is no way. I
Mm.
don't care who you are or how loud you think you can scream. There is no way that distance you are going to hear in that apartment someone clearly yelling for
That
help.
clearly. I mean, he might have heard it very quietly and went kind of like, "Wait, what?"
Okay, and let's put another spin on this. And he was on the phone listening to somebody. So
Yeah.
he's got one ear
So
with
he's not
someone
even
talking.
paying
He's
attention
not
to
even paying
anything else.
attention. So I'm sorry. There is no way in hell that Penny is going to get saved. Now, the way, and the thing is that I don't think anybody's going to go and check on her. So she's going to be there for quite a while. So she's going to have to try and work out how to get off the bathroom or in the
Yep.
shower. Now, thinking about how she could get out of the shower, right? She's holding her shoulder. It's injured. She's still got a free arm, right?
Yep.
So couldn't she somehow like try to get up onto her knees?
Okay.
She's laying down
Okay. Yeah. So she's lying down.
on
She
her
can
back,
she can use the soap dish handle
which
to
she
pull
did.
herself to sit up,
Yeah.
but she has to hang on to that to avoid falling back down,
Hmm.
which means that she couldn't turn off the water because she would have had to use the dislocated arm to do that.
Okay, we're not going to turn off the water. We're just going to leave that running.
But it would have required both being able to put weight on both hands to get herself up. So no, she needed help getting out of that. The most she could do would sit up the way that she did, and she wouldn't
So
have been able to
she,
do any more.
okay, so she couldn't. Okay, so if you're laying in a bathtub,
Yep.
Okay, so she sat up. She couldn't swing her legs like under her or try
No.
and
Because
go a little bit
because
further.
that would have put she would have potentially had to brace herself with her hands,
But she's got this free hand. So couldn't she like?
which is not free because
Couldn't she rest it on
she's
something?
holding herself up with it.
I think there's a way that she could actually get out of the bath.
No, no, no,
Okay, well, yeah. So, but I still believe that the amount of screaming that she did, from all that we've actually explained, she's not going to get heard by Sheldon at all.
no, no.
Not
But
clearly.
sometimes you just can't look too closely at these
No,
things.
I know. Um, so we find out that
Now, and she's like, "You need
she's
to take
she's
me to
laying
the
in the
hospital."
bathtub naked, right?
Yeah.
And we find out that she actually slipped in the shower, grabbed the shower curtain, and she's dislocated her shoulder. And this is where Sheldon comments that she did that because she didn't have a shower mat or any adhesive stickers, like they have little ducks on there.
Yeah, he has ducks with umbrellas.
Mm,
Now, I'd like to point out,
yeah.
let's see if you caught this, Mr. Eagle Eye.
Okay.
Sheldon explains to Penny about the ducks in his bathtub.
Hmm.
In episode 1, the pilot, she took a shower in his tub, so she would have known about them.
Um,
Unless he added them
unless he
afterwards,
added them
but
afterwards.
I doubt that. I bet they've
No,
been there all along
I.
because this
See,
is
this is
Sheldon.
Sheldon. Yeah, this is Sheldon. Sheldon's all about safety. So
Yeah. So she
okay,
would have known about his adhesive ducts.
okay. So I'm guessing that maybe Penny's one of those freewheeling people that just sit there and go, ah, you don't need them.
Mm.
But yeah, she probably would have actually found out about the adhesive ducts in their shower. Um, so, and I love it how he says that the ducks are whimsical because they've got
Yeah.
umbrellas.
Yep.
And so Penny, is helped out of the shower, and she says the fact that she's dislocated her shoulder and she needs to go to the emergency room. And this is where Sheldon says, "Well, should I call an ambulance?" And she says, "No, no, no, I don't have any time for that. I need you to
You need you
drive
to
me."
drive me. And he's like,
And
but
he
I
says,
don't drive.
and she said, "Well, I can't drive," which is obviously true because she has a stick shift, so we know that sitting there, she can't use this or what her right arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't use her right arm because that's the gear shift. So
I just realized this means she's also going to be out of work for a couple of weeks because she can't carry food.
exactly, she will be.
Yeah.
She's in a
And
lot of
she's not a
problems.
bartender yet.
No, and then again, even if she was a bartender, she couldn't shake any drinks up.
Nope.
She can't pour drinks with two hands.
And she's right-handed.
Yeah. So she is in a great deal of drama right now with a dislocated shoulder. Um, so as he says, never let it be said that Sheldon Lee Cooper ignored the pleas of a damsel in distress.
Okay.
Yes.
Sheldon does pride himself for coming to the aid of a damsel in distress.
Yes, he does.
Apparently, he has changed his mind about chivalry because when Leonard suggested he do the same in the Tangerine Factor, Sheldon dismissed it as a non-current practice for which one has to be knighted to it for it to apply.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yep.
Oh, see the okay. There we go. And I like it how he says it seems ironic for the lack of 99 cents adhesive ducts, we might die in a fiery car
Car
crash.
crash. Oh, and I'd like to point out that when he was on the phone to the Thai restaurant, he
Yeah,
was saying how King Rama the Fourth
thank you.
of Siam lived in the mid 18th century and divided an entire country. Surely you, as his cultural descendant, can separate some pad Thai
And dumplings.
and dumplings.
Yeah.
But I'd like to point out that King Rama lived in the mid 19th century, not 18th.
Oh, well, this is only season three.
I
We
know,
haven't we
but
haven't
he
nailed
has an
everything down.
eidetic memory,
I
which means
know.
that, you know.
Yeah. So back in the desert.
Mm,
Ha yeah.
that's right. We haven't started dressing yet, have we?
No. So back in the desert, we Howard has been searching for
He's
some
been doing
women.
reconnaissance in the local and
Yeah.
who's around them.
So apparently there are several groups of nerds nearby and a couple of 50-something middle school teachers reeking of desperation. And it's really lovely because these two ladies give them a batch of homemade cookies.
As Leonard points out, because that's what grandmas do.
And of course they're and of course Wright says, tell me more about them. And he goes, oh, nothing much to tell. They're camping in a VW microbus and wearing tie-dye Grateful Dead t-shirts too.
Yep, that tells you everything you need to know about them cookies.
Uh-huh.
Because Raj is ready to go over there and hit on them now. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, I told them we'd stop by later after their nap. And Raj is like, great, they'll be refreshed. He's like, menopause, nature's birth control.
Yeah, that's right. Because they being the fact they're in 50s, middle, 50 something, nature's birth control. So we got a feeling that there's something wrong with these cookies. They taste really nice, but you sort of wonder what is in these cookies.
Hmm.
We're gonna find out.
Yep.
And which is awesome when we find out. So back in Penny's apartment, Sheldon is obviously she needs to go to the emergency room and she needs to be dressed. And so this is where Sheldon opens up her dresser drawer and says there's absolutely no organizational system in her drawer. And he goes, so which panties do you wear on a Monday? And she says, I don't need panties. I just need shorts and a top. So we're going commando, everybody.
Apparently, yeah.
Apparently, we're going commando. So Penny tells her, as I said, so Sheldon shows her a combination set of outfits that she can wear. At one stage, he shows her something, and she goes, "Seriously?
That
That
shirt with
shirt with
that
those
those shorts.
shorts?" And then he shows her something else, and she goes, "No." Then he shows her something else, and she goes, "No." Then he shows her something else, and she goes, "Oh, that's cute." So it's like, okay, we've got it. So now we have to
Okay, now
try.
before that,
Yeah.
okay, well, at this point, she's like, okay, you need to help me
Get
into
dressed.
it,
Yeah.
but don't look.
Yeah.
Now, Sheldon mentions a prohibition against looking in ancient mythology, naming Lot and his wife, Perseus and Medusa, as well as Orpheus and Eurydice, as examples that it never ends well.
Mm.
Orpheus was allowed to take his deceased fiancée Eurydice out of the underworld on the condition that he lead her out without looking back. When he was nearly out, he got worried and looked behind him, and she was dragged back. Medusa's gaze turned men into stone, and Perseus was aware of that, so he cut off her head while avoiding her gaze with a mirror. It ended well for him, but not for his enemies, as he used Medusa's head to petrify them.
Hmm.
Lot and his family escaped from Sodom, which was about to be flooded by God. They were given instructions to run and not look back. Lot's wife, however, defied God to have one last look at her hometown, which resulted in her being transformed into a salt pillar. Technically, the Lot and his wife story is from the biblical book of Genesis rather than ancient mythology, but it makes sense that Sheldon, an atheist, would consider religious text as mythology rather than a true account of the Word of God.
Yes, it is. Although being a person that has studied the Bible and was going to be a priest and all that sort of stuff, um, and this was one of the reasons why I questioned religion when I was going through it, is, and I was never given any definitive answer. Was there somebody really standing there with a notepad and pencil writing everything down? No. The Bible, along with mythology and along with stories and stuff like that, is all basically like Chinese whispers. It
It's hearsay.
changes dramatically. It's hearsay. There
Yeah.
was nobody sitting down there with a pad and pencil writing everything down that Jesus said or writing down what the apostles said. It's just over the
Oh,
years, it's hearsay. Over the
okay.
centuries and the decades. Yes,
Let me ask you a question,
sure.
because you're more of a biblical scholar than I am.
Hmm.
Um, in the New Testament, we have like the book of Paul, or not Paul, but Peter, James, and John, and
Hmm. Yeah.
and we have like in Corinthians is Paul's letters to the Corinthians and stuff like that.
Mm.
Do we know who was the one who actually wrote down the notes for things like Genesis?
No. It was, I mean, it's a combination of bits and pieces taken. It's like you've said, it's very similar to cooking. You take a bit of spice here, bit of spice there, put it all together, and that's what makes up, the meal.
Yeah,
Basically, that's the same scenario as what the Bible is. It's a bit from here, a bit from there, and a pinch from that, and now you've got a part of the Bible that's supposedly
yeah,
the absolute as they say, God honest truth. But this is why it's very hard to decipher. That is because this is absolutely true. I mean, you look at different religions throughout the world, and different religions have their own interpretation of the Bible. You
yeah,
know, if you look at Hinduism, you know, God is a Hindu, uh, you know, in their reference of it.
yeah,
There are different religions where God or Jesus is another color, another race. I mean, you know, African tribes in the jungles have got their own interpretation of what things are. So it's very much similar to, do you remember that scene of the remake of Star Trek where Kirk and Spock go onto the planet to try and stop a volcano from erupting
hmm,
to save those people.
yeah,
Now, they were worshipping a scroll. When they see the Enterprise come out of the water, they drop the scroll and they start worshipping the starship.
yeah,
So it's that scenario is that every religion throughout the world have a different interpretation of the Bible, of their religious beliefs, and what they
yeah.
consider to be God. So I do understand it from
A
where
lot of it is subjective.
it is very much so. So of course, this is where Sheldon is asked to help Penny dress, but don't look. So he puts her top over her head, and he's trying not to look, and you can see him lose the top. So he's like, oh, he's got her up. There's her head, and she says, right now, you need to help me
Yep.
get my arm in.
Yeah, her injured arm.
Uh, yeah, her right arm goes in first. So he reaches down, and she says, um.
Does that feel like my arm?
Is that my arm? And he goes, it certainly doesn't feel like it. And she goes, so maybe you should let it go.
Yes, maybe you should move your hand.
So we do realize that Sheldon
Is
has
holding your
actually
boob.
has actually got to second base.
Now, because the audience is thoroughly cracking up
I
at
know.
this. And
Oh
I
my
I
God.
turned to Paul and I said, I wonder what the audience is actually seeing here. Did he actually grab her boob?
Yeah. What I think that they do is they put and I'm
Well, I'm
not.
sure she had like
She's got like it's almost like a half crop top because we see the back
yeah,
of her and she's
yeah.
got nothing
Yeah,
covering
she's
the
got
back.
like a bandolier or something on.
Yeah, so something across her breasts
Yeah,
to hold them in,
for
but
modesty purposes.
yeah,
But
but
I
from the
still
back we
wonder if
can't
Jim
see.
Parsons put his hand on her boob.
If he did, there's a lot of men who are very, very jealous of
Yeah,
her,
oh
of him.
yeah. Yeah.
So back at the campsite under the stars, the guys are pretty much screwed with the drug stash cookies. They are wasted,
Oh yeah.
and they feel really good watching the stars twinkle and right. And of course, this is where Leonard says about we're waiting for the Earth to move
No, no,
into.
no, no, no. First, it's Howard. So they're all sitting in their chairs.
That's right.
Just
Yeah.
slouching and smashed. And Howard is or Leonard says, "The stars are so
Pretty.
pretty." And then Raj starts cracking up and he's like, "Why are you laughing?" And he says, "Because anything you guys say with your American accent sounds hilarious." So
Yeah.
then he imitates Leonard, "The stars are so pretty." And they
And then
all lose it.
Howard, and then of course, then Howard says, you know, they look like little diamonds in the sky, or in the sky so high, like little diamonds, whatever it is.
Yeah,
And Raj goes, "Oh, dude, that sounds great. You should write that down before someone steals it."
yeah.
And this is where Leonard says about moving. The Earth is
How we can feel the earth moving.
moving, and it's going to be moving into where the meteors is. And Raj is like, "No, no, no. The Earth doesn't move in where they are. The meteors come to the Earth." And he says, "Well, I can feel the Earth is moving." And
It's
he goes,
too fast, Barrage,
"No."
make it slow down.
So Raj looks like he's trying to take a shit.
Yes, he does.
He's got that real, it's almost like he's trying to, it's almost like he's bearing down, trying to get one giant loaf out. And he's sitting there and he goes to Leonard, "Okay, is that better?" And he goes, "Yeah, that is, thanks."
Yeah.
So back in with poor old Penny and Sheldon. Penny and Sheldon are in the car. Now, Sheldon has, he says, "Okay, well, this is may end up very badly." And she says, "Well, you got your learner's permit, right?" And he goes, "Yes, I do, and I've logged a considerable a number of hours on a driving simulator." And she goes, "Oh, good." And he goes, didn't go well."
Didn't end
And
well.
so this is where Penny's like, "Okay, can we get going now?" Now, he had said, "How about an ambulance?" And
Uh-huh.
she said, "No, there's no time." With the amount of time that he spends getting the car organized and driving, an ambulance would have been there, picked her up, taken her to hospital before he even got out of first gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I even said to Kat, "What about a taxi? A
Yeah.
taxi's just as well,
Yeah,
not
because they
just
didn't
as
have
fast as an
Ubers
ambulance."
back then.
Yeah, a taxi is obviously not as fast as an ambulance, but it's still faster than Sheldon is. So this is where Sheldon actually has to start adjusting the driver's seat to make sure that's all fine. But first he starts to optimize the mirror, the side mirror, because he says that the side mirror should always have a little bit of the driver's side door just visible in the mirror.
It should have the driver's door handle
Handle,
just
that's right, yes.
visible in the bottom right corner of the mirror.
Yeah. And then he says, "Where's the button for the passenger side?" And she says, "It's there." And he goes, looks, he goes, "Where's the passenger side mirror?" And she goes, "In a parking lot in Hollywood. Can we please go?" And of course, this is where he goes, "Okay, just got to do the seat." So he pushes the seat all the way back and starts moving it forward. And then he goes, "Okay." And he goes, "Up." And he goes, "Okay, optimize." "Oh, no. Now that
Got to
I've got to
start over again.
start over again because now he's got to do the rear view mirror or the side mirror again." So this is just going to be one hell of a long time to get to hospital.
Yep.
Now, I love how this episode goes forward and back from the desert to back with Leonard and Penny, back to Sheldon and Penny, and then back to the desert. We go back to the desert.
The guys are laying, like
They're
Leonard's
now
on the
laying on
rock
rocks. Yeah. And Raj is dreaming about being able to communicate with rabbits and ruling
and
them.
being their overlord
And as he's talking, Leonard cuts in and says that Leonard, he hates his name.
because
It
it has
has
nerd
nerd
in
in
it.
it. Leonard. And he says he would love to have been called Angelo because it's got both angel and jello in it. Now, while he's talking about that, this is where Howard reveals that he lost his virginity to his cousin.
Yep.
He was attending the funeral of his uncle Murray, and he went to Aunt Barbara's house for some pickled herring. And he said he never meant it to happen,
That
but
their
they
eyes locked over the pickled
pickled herring.
herring.
And of course, I love it how he goes, how he says, "To this day, I cannot look at pickled herring without getting either
Without getting both
aroused."
aroused and ashamed.
Oh, that is so cool. Um, Oh, and I like it how Leonard is saying about, the fact that he would love to be called Angelo, or they'd be able to call him Angie, like, "Hey, Angie, how's it going?" And then I like it how Ryder says about the fact that he invites his loyal subjects to a ball, and the rabbits don't show up. So he ends up by eating
And
all the
he's
lettuce in the world.
embarrassed.
Yeah. So he ends up by eating all the lettuce in the world, and he makes them watch.
Watch.
So now we're back in the car.
Hmm.
Sheldon is driving so slowly. Now,
A,
so
a
slowly, everybody.
90-year-old with a walker could pass
Get
them.
yeah. And he's diligently, basically over obeying all the traffic regulations. And Penny is basically complaining about his slow speed. Can we, get going? And while Sheldon's complaining, about, we need to be safe, we hear this knocking in the engine. And he goes, "What was that?" And she goes, the engine just does that sometime." And he goes, "The check engine light's on." And she goes, "Yeah, I know." And he goes, "Why can't I pull this car over and go into
Petrol station or
a
gas
gas
station.
station?" Yeah. And she goes, "No, no, no, no time for that. Anyway, the light's been on since I bought the car. So, warp speed,
Even
Mr.
more.
Spock."
Okay, stop.
Yes.
When she's trying to get Sheldon to drive past faster, Penny
Yeah.
says, warp speed ahead, Mr. Spock.
Yes.
Now, all credit to her for making a Star Trek reference at this
Yes.
point.
God
To
bless
which
her.
to which Sheldon replies that the order would never be given to the science officer, but rather to the navigator helmsman instead, which makes perfect sense.
Is that
How,
Mr. Sulu?
huh? That's Mr.
That's
Sulu.
that's Sulu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Hikaru Sulu.
Yeah.
Yes, I know his first name. Thank you very much.
I didn't know that.
Um, However, in a very few of the very early, like first few episodes of the original series, Captain Kirk did give Spock the orders for warp speed and course changes before the writers established that logic dictates that they should be given to the navigator and or helmsman.
Okay, so in the TV series of Star Trek,
Mhm.
even though Sulu was the pilot of the ship, he was still giving the orders to Spock.
They hadn't realized that that chain didn't work until a couple of episodes in. That the
So
helm
it would have gone from Spock was so it would have gone from Kirk to Spock, and then Spock would have told Sulu
Yeah,
instead of
which doesn't make sense.
instead of
But as the
Captain Kirk just cutting out the
right,
middleman.
but the
Hmm.
helmsman and the navigator, they're a bridge officer, so it makes sense for the captain to speak directly to them.
Yeah,
But
but I'm
it
glad
had
they actually took that one out because there's no reason going around the block when you can go straight through in one
well,
straight circle.
this is the thing is a lot of Star Trek protocol is based on naval command,
Yeah.
ship command.
Yeah, but it still doesn't make a whole
Yeah,
lot of sense,
yeah,
does
that
it?
doesn't.
Because if you're wanting things to be done like now,
Yeah,
oh, Mr. Spock, can you tell him to go faster? No.
exactly,
Why can't
exactly.
you just tell me and I'll do it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it makes sense for it to go to the helmsman, who is probably also the well, the navigator sits next to the helmsman.
Right, so you've got Sulu is the pilot and you got Chekhov.
Yes,
So Chekhov is the
the
navigator.
navigator. Yeah,
So those two, that's why they sit next to each
yeah,
other.
exactly.
But in all honesty, if Kirk's going to be giving a command to raise the shields or warp speed or whatever, it's just to Chekhov. I'm sorry, to Sulu.
Um,
Because Chekhov doesn't need to worry about it. He just inputs the data.
speed is Sulu.
Yeah.
Navigation and course change is Chekhov. He
Right.
has to
Yes.
input it before Sulu can
Can do
execute
it.
it.
Can execute it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
shields is actually security.
Which would not be Spock because he's science.
Right.
So
Um,
whoever's the
it's the
but
red
he
shirt.
well, but doesn't he always say raise the shields, Mr. Zulu? He says that before.
I probably, but if you go into next gen, that's the security offers
Security officer.
officer. Yeah,
Which
which
once
is
again
Worf.
doesn't make a lot of sense because Worf is not in control of the ship. If you're raising the shields, wouldn't you just tell the pilot or the navigator to raise the shields? They've got the actual console in front of them to be able to do that. They're controlling the ship.
Well, there is the console in back of the
Yeah,
captain's chair.
yeah, that's
That's where the
where
security officer operates.
and that's where Spock would sit and
No, no, no. Okay, let me see if I can pull up a visual of this.
because who's the woman that's on comms?
Uhura.
Uhura. So I know where Uhura sits, and then you got the longer console next to her. I thought Spock sat there. I thought
Okay.
Spock's
Let me pull up the images.
because I was pretty sure that Spock sat right next
Yes,
to
yeah,
Uhura.
Spock sits next to Uhura. And in the original series, they don't have a security station.
No, I didn't think they did.
Well, either that or it's over on the side, on the other
I thought
side.
security was
From
more where Scotty was
okay,
in engineering.
all right. No.
Okay.
I mean there are you can access security from there.
Yeah.
But on the bridge, I thought that okay, so you have the lift doors
Yep. I can
that
picture
you
where it
come
is.
in,
So you got the
and
elevator.
you
Yep.
have one set of stations on one side, which is where Spock and Uhura sit. Then there's the duplicates on the other side
Okay. So I'm
of the
coming out.
lift.
Okay. So I'm coming out of the lift. On the right hand side is where Uhura
Spock and
and Spock
Uhura
sit.
are.
There's a small little one on the left hand side, and then you
No,
come.
it's the same size as the one on the right.
Yeah, but
So,
I'm saying it's broken up between the elevator.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So there's the same size
Right.
stations, same number of stations on
Yeah.
either side. So Spock and Uhura are on one side, and I'm guessing security
Would be on
and
that
something
side.
else is on the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
But in
But
but in
in
the
next gen,
yeah.
you have those around the edges, but you also have another station right in back of the captain's chair, and that's where Worf stands as security.
Oh, that's what. Okay, thank you. I was wondering why Worf always stood right behind the captain.
Yeah,
So obviously
security.
he's got
That's the security station.
so he's got a console there.
Yeah.
So he would be the one to raise the shields, which still
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense because I would say I would tell, you know,
Zulu.
Zulu to raise the shields.
Yeah.
Okay, but
But
now I can
I
see it.
thought
Yeah.
there was the same I was thinking there was the same security station in the original series, but there's not.
Yeah, see now you got me curious about it. But yeah, now I can understand.
Yeah.
So I like it how Sheldon says that, because of this check engine light, if Mr. Spock's being the science officer wasn't piloting the ship, but if he did and he saw a check engine light, he would actually pull the ship over at the next stop. And so he does, Sheldon does come to a full stop because there is this traffic light, and he says to Penny, "Why why does Penny have the Chinese character for soup on her right buttock?"
Okay.
And I like
Uh,
it how she goes, "No, it's not
it's not
soup,
soup, it's
it's
courage.
courage." And she goes, "And how would you know that I had a tattoo on my right buttock?" And he goes, "Well, like the now was it the hero always
The
sneaks a
hero
peek?"
always peeks
But I like it how he says, "Well, I guess it is courage to have that much dedication to
to
soup."
soup. Now, okay, so
Pardon me.
Chinese Penny has a Chinese character tattooed on her right buttock.
Yep.
And Kaylee Cuoco, obviously, who plays Penny,
Hmm.
has an actual Chinese character tattoo on her lower back, as seen in the episode from season one, The Middle Earth Paradigm,
Yes,
when she did the Halloween party.
she does.
So Sheldon does ask Penny why she has the word for soup tattooed on her butt, and Penny claims that it's courage. Now, the words soup and courage in Chinese have similar pronunciation. They both sound like tong or tang. Sorry, anybody who speaks Chinese, I probably just butchered that.
Butchered
It's
your language.
possible, okay, it is possible
Mm.
that Penny thought she was asking the Chinese tattoo artist for courage, but got soup instead.
Hmm.
It's also possible that Sheldon demonstrated in season one, episode 17, the tangerine factor, that he does not have a good grasp on Chinese. So it's equally possible that her tattoo was correct and Sheldon misinterpreted it.
Now he was learning Mandarin to go and speak to the
Oh,
Chinese
da,
restaurant.
da.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
was learning that to try and because he wasn't getting tangerine chicken.
Yeah.
So he could have actually, yeah, as you said,
And when he actually went to the restaurant, um, he spoke very, very badly
yeah,
to the gentleman there.
because he was
And
even trying
yeah,
to do that in the cafeteria at
yeah,
MIT,
yeah,
or sorry, Caltech, and he was getting it completely wrong.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So it is possible that he was wrong.
yeah,
He'd never admit it, but it is possible.
no, oh, Sheldon was admitting it. No. So back at the campsite.
Hmm.
Big is the fact now, I've never been stoned in my life,
Me either.
so I don't know what this whole thing is like. But apparently, when you're stoned and after you start coming down, you become very, very hungry. You
You
get
get
what they call the
the
munchies.
munchies.
Yeah. Howard, Sheldon, and Raj are
No,
at,
Howard, Leonard, and Raj.
oh, sorry, Howard, Leonard, and Raj, I should say, are absolutely famished and they are going through
And they have
a
eaten
cooler.
everything they brought with them for the whole weekend.
Yeah, they've gone through the cooler. You can see that Howard's finishing off a pudding cup and he says, what about Slim Jims? And Leonard goes, that's what he, as in Raj, used to eat his
Okay. So
pudding cup.
Howard is like using his fingers to finish off a pudding cup, and he's like,
Yeah.
Is that it?" And he's like, "Yeah, you just ate the last pudding
Yeah,
cup."
we're
And
out
he's
of
like,
food.
"How about the Slim Jims? That's what he used."
Yeah.
And then he looks at Leonard and he says, "How about if we see if we have any pudding cups?" And Leonard goes back into the
Back
cooler
in the cooler to
again.
try and find it. Now,
And
and
then,
he comes out and he goes, no, all we've got left are these blue ice packs. And I love it how Raj goes, I know they're poisonous, but they do look like big yummy otter pops. I
okay,
don't know what it is. That's
that's like, what do you call the little frozen,
um
those long frozen things that we have in the freezer?
oh
The icy
ices.
thing.
Icy poles.
Okay, icy poles. Okay, yeah, it's like that.
Yeah. Ice
Yeah.
pops.
Now, yeah, ice pop. It's a giant ice pop. So Raj wanted to eat the blue gel freezer pack, but said he knew they're poisonous.
Yeah.
They are made with, okay, ethylene glycol, which is in almost all antifreeze, is infamously toxic and
Hmm.
unfortunately very sweet and tasty, which is why you have to be very careful to make sure that your dog or cat doesn't get into it because it will kill them and very quickly. However, freezer gel packs are just water and about 20% propylene glycol, which is a non-toxic compound considered by the FDA to be food safe. Propylene glycol is actually in quite a variety of processed foods.
Mm. I
I still
still
wouldn't eat it.
I still wouldn't eat it.
Jinx on
No.
you. But I, okay, I'm not going to say it.
Are you thinking about something that I told you once?
No, I'm just thinking about who's in charge of the FDA at the moment, and I wouldn't believe
Ah,
anything
yeah,
that they say.
yeah, no. No, I
What
was
did you
actually
tell me?
no, I was actually thinking of something that happened with my ex-mother-in-law about,
Oh, yeah. No, let's not go there.
yeah, how her coffee was tasting very, 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 very sweet for
No,
some
let's
reason.
not go there, honey.
Um,
That could be
Libelous, I know.
yeah.
So back in the emergency room, Sheldon is there, filling out Penny's, you know, form, and he's going through all the different things that you would actually get on a admittance form to go into the
To the
emergency department,
hospital, yeah.
like diabetes, kidney disease, and he goes
When was your
migraine.
last menstrual
No,
period?
first of all, he goes migraine. She goes getting one, and he goes, are you pregnant? She goes, what? No, and he goes, are you sure you look a bit puffy? And she
Actually,
goes,
he's lucky she didn't punch him.
I know. She goes, next question. She has no skin lesions except for a soup tattoo. And he goes, oh, when was your last menstrual period and menstrual cycle? And she goes, oh, next
Next
question.
question.
And he goes, in progress. And I like it how he goes, it was like, something about Tourette's. It was
Oh, that's right. Oh, because he says in progress, and she's like, ass.
I know that's why he goes. Oh, and she goes when she yells at him. He goes about any neurological diseases, and he goes quick to anger, and that's when you hear us, and he goes with possible Tourette's,
That's, yep.
and this is where she says, "Look, Sheldon, I'm really worried about what's going on. I'm scared. I can you please just be comforting."
Can you please just take a break from being
Uh,
you and be comforting?
Now
This is one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen.
I'm gonna
That
let you
look
say
on
it.
his face.
I'm gonna let you say it.
Where he's just like, there. Sheldon's here, and he's trying to figure out like where to pat her to be comforting, and he gets this look on his face that it honestly reminds me of the mask that Ethan Hawke wore in The Black Phone,
Yeah.
because it's just this psycho look in his eyes
It's a
with the
cross between that and the
smile.
Joker.
Yeah. And it's just creepy as, and she's just like, okay, never mind.
Like she goes, thanks, I feel a whole lot
Not
better.
better. Yeah.
Now, back at the campsite, the guys have now officially run out of food.
Yep.
And they are now planning to raid other campsites. And I like it how now they've got their shirts on their heads, they've put dirt on their faces for some reason, and I
Well,
like
because
it.
that's what, special
Yeah,
forces do.
Basically Lord of the Flies
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah.
And I like it how Leonard goes, "What sort of scores are we looking at?" And because there's a
Well, no,
campsite
he says,
of
okay, there's a scout
scout group.
troop
Yeah,
over here with a doughy scoutmaster and mostly Weebelows. And
yeah,
Leonard's like, okay, what kind of score are we looking at? And he's like, hot dogs, buns,
s'mores.
it's a virtual 7-Eleven
Yeah. And so they get ready to go, except as Howard goes into his backpack, we find that his mother has put in an
And I
I
love
love you
you
care package,
biscuit.
which is a care package of brisket.
And
And of
Leonard's
course,
like, let's get forks. And he's like, you don't need forks.
yeah,
It falls apart in your hand. And Raj grabs some and he's like, oh my God, he's right. That reminds me, you have to take out the brisket if we want to cook it on Tuesday.
right. Yes, we are having brisket, everybody.
Woo.
And I like it how this is all going on. They're devouring this, and then I like it how Leonard goes, I feel like we're missing something. And in the background, you can start to see the meteor shower start.
Going over.
And I like it how like it how it goes. Oh, you mean this Tupperware of potatoes and carrots?
Of roasted vegetables.
And they're like, yes, like this. And but you can still see the meteor shower just
Uh-huh.
going on behind them. So obviously they are missing on something very, very important. But right now they are so stoned out of their mind, they just so
I don't know
consumed with food.
anything.
As I said, I've never been stoned, so I do not know what it's all about.
Nope.
So the next scene we see is Sheldon is getting Penny home from the emergency department. Apparently she's floating home all the way because she's actually had a huge amount of painkillers.
Yeah,
So
I can kind of I remember when I had the attack at 11 o'clock at night of kidney stones and you had to get me to the hospital.
I did some pretty good
We don't
driving.
want to talk about that.
I do.
No, because this is a record and they can come and find you.
Let's just say I did it very, very fast with a
We made record time.
record time.
And
We
because
did.
I was in so much pain, so sick. And I remember sitting in the waiting room before they took me in, and it was really, really scary. But I'll also never forget, when the doctor came and saw me, and they're like, okay, this is what's going on. And the nurse came in, and she's like, in about 30 seconds, I'm going to be your best friend.
Hmm.
And they gave me a shot of morphine. And in about 30 seconds, I was like, I love you. And she's like, I know.
You can sort of see how people can get strung out on
Oh, yeah.
morphine addicts,
Yeah.
and codeine and stuff like that. Um, so I like it how Sheldon's getting ready to leave, don't operate heavy machinery. And Penny says, no, 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 you need to help me to bed. And she goes,
And
oh my
and
God,
she just cracks
Sheldon's,
up.
yeah, Sheldon,
Sheldon has to get me
get
into
me into
bed.
bed. I bet you've never heard that before. And he goes, yes, yes, son. Yeah, he's very amused by her
Very
drug-addled
funny.
candor. And so as Penny is walking towards her bedroom, she goes, a lot of people think you're just this annoying robot man, and you totally are. But you're like the characters in the Wall-E movie. You're full of love. You can save plants. You can get fat people out of the floaty chairs. You've never seen the movie, but I know
I've never
exactly
seen
what
it.
she's talking about. So
I should watch it.
yes, you should. So she gets into bed, and this is where she wants him to sing
Sheldon,
Soft,
sing soft
Soft
kitty to
Kitty to
me.
her. And he protests, saying that the song is only for singing when one is sick.
Well, hurt and
Is
and on drugs is a
is
kind of
kind of sick.
sick.
So this is where she starts to sing, and then she goes, "Hang on a minute, let's do it in a round. I'll start." So she starts singing soft, and of course Sheldon's got that like
Yeah.
he's perplexed at how to even answer this
Now,
question.
I would like to also point out that she's singing really, really well.
She is, yeah,
Not the crap that she did in season one.
exactly. So she's learned
So
quite.
her lessons are paying off.
Absolutely, she's doing very, very well. So she starts singing Soft Kitty, and of course, this is first Sheldon's resisting, and Penny says, I have all night, Sheldon. And so she starts singing again, and this is where Sheldon breaks in and sings. So they do end up by singing in a round.
And Jim Parsons actually has a
He
lovely
has a
voice.
really lovely voice. He really
Yeah.
does. And of course, Penny's very happy at the end of the song because they've playing it together. Now, back at the campfire towards the end of the episode, Raj has got a flashlight. When you're telling a ghost story, you have to have a flashlight underneath
And
your
yeah,
face,
and up like your
underneath your
face.
chin.
Yep.
Yeah, to light your face up. And he is saying about, he's basically telling the story about, and the next morning when he awoke, he found out, dun, dun,
Done.
dun, she was his cousin.
And
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 it's just
and
this, just this,
and Howard's like, she was my second cousin.
and first of all, he goes, that's still not funny. And like Raj goes, that's still not funny. So
Yeah.
he's trying to imitate her, and Leonard is cracking up, and this is where he goes, that she was his second cousin, and he goes, and she was my second cousin, and they just giggling and rolling around the floor, on the ground. Obviously, Howard is not amused whatsoever, because he's the one being the butt of the joke.
Well, I'd also like to point out that, okay, so he was 15 when he lost his virginity to his second cousin, Jeannie.
Yeah.
And Raj, spoiler alert, later references it in his drunken toast to Howard in season 5, episode 22, The Stag Convergence. And Jeannie, Howard's cousin, appears in season 8, episode 8, The Prom Equivalency, as Stewart's date to the prom organized by Amy and Bernadette.
Yes, when they're
Yeah.
in the limousine.
Yep.
Yeah. So the episode then goes black, and that is the end of the episode.
Yep.
And I was also going to say, just quickly, when we're talking about Penny's tattoo, the Penny has a number of them because she does. At one stage, Leonard and her break up, and since they've been broken up, she went and got a Cookie Monster tattoo.
Oh yeah, that's right, but we never get to see it.
We never got to see the Cookie
Yeah.
Monster
I would have
tattoo.
liked to have seen that.
Yeah.
Now Sheldon, as we know, did peek and saw Penny rather naked.
Yep.
And Penny uses this fact in season 5, episode 18, the werewolf transformation, to convince Sheldon to let her cut his hair, which bothers Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the entire series, Howard is the only one who hasn't seen Penny naked,
Yes.
although he did see her topless when viewing Serial Apist online.
Yeah. But not in the flesh.
No, so to speak.
No.
Now, this episode does mirror the Vegas renormalization, with Leonard, Raj, and Howard being away while Sheldon and Penny stay at home.
Mm.
The reversal is that this time Penny is the one who's kind of sick, and Sheldon has to sing Soft Kitty to her. And this episode marks the first time that Soft Kitty is sung to anyone other than Sheldon. And did you know
Mm-hmm.
the correct name of the song is Warm Kitty, and it was written by Patty Bisco.
Patsy.
Patsy Bisco.
I know she's an Australian singer.
She is?
Yes.
Oh, I have no idea who she is.
Yeah, Patsy Bisco. She used to be in Australia. She's no longer with us, but she used to be an Australian songwriter.
Yeah, but she actually named it Warm Kitty, not Soft Kitty.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, maybe they
Yeah.
had to change it for copyright issues.
Yep.
But yeah, Patsy Bisco was a thing. Everybody used to know Patsy Bisco. Those of us who lived in Australia, um, and at my age, would know who Patsy Bisco was.
Okay.
Or maybe I just lived a sheltered life and know
Now
who
we're
she was.
just counting the stuff that the guys took with them as snacks,
Yeah.
because Howard's mom cooked most of it, and then they just did like pudding cups and Slim
And
Jims.
Sheldon never got dinner.
No, he didn't, did he?
No.
Oh, wow.
He was going to
No.
order it, and then he
Yeah.
then he stopped the order because he could hear Penny bullshit yelling from
Yeah.
her apartment, which
Yeah.
I still say not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
That was just
So,
way too far.
yeah, so we really only had one-time snacks.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now do you want the vanity card or the question first?
It is your department. You choose.
Let's do the vanity card.
Okay.
Chuck Lorre Productions number 267. Last weekend, I went on a movie date with a very nice lady. During the coming attractions, I managed to get a piece of popcorn down the wrong pipe, and I started coughing. People nearby glanced at me nervously. Then, as the movie was about to begin, I got a tickle in my nose and sneezed twice. The young couple sitting to my left immediately got up and moved across the aisle. The old lady directly in front of me leapt to her feet and literally vaulted over her husband in order to sit further away from me. For some reason, I was a little miffed, but then I realized the newfound power I had. I got up, crossed closer to the old lady and young couple, and coughed again. They all glared at me and once again moved their seats. The game was on. Maneuvering like a knight on a chessboard, I countered their move by moving 2 rows down and 1 seat over. I looked at them. I smiled. I coughed. They were stunned. How could this be happening? How had their simple movie outing turned into an Edgar Allan Poe short story? But it had. In a matter of minutes, they had become Prince Prospero and his noble cohorts, while I had become the Red Death. The old woman covered her mouth with and nose with her hand and cried out, "Why are you doing this to us?" I laughed and said, "Why? You want to know why? Because death, my dear woman, is the inevitable end for us all, and there is no hiding from it, even at the AMC." A horrible silence hung over the theater. No one moved. No one breathed. Then the movie started, and we all settled down to enjoy the wacky 3D antics of Jim Carrey. Oh, and I'm hoping to go out with the nice lady again, but she has not returned my calls.
Listening to that is the reason why we have our own private home cinema.
Yep.
Because we can cough, splutter, keep the dog with us. We can be in our pajamas. We can drink wine if we want to. And it's only 7 steps away from our bedroom.
And if Paul could just get me to shut up during the movie, it would be perfect for him.
I'm actually completely fine. We actually watched last night the final Conjuring movie, Last
Last
Rites.
rites.
And I really enjoyed it. I thought, and that's another thing.
There was even a jump scare that got you.
Yeah, very unusual because I don't
Yeah,
jump scare because I have watched some of the most depraved and disgusting horror movies. I am so desensitized through horror movies, it's not funny. I beg anybody, here's a Pepsi challenge for anybody. Come up with a movie that you think would be absolutely terrifying. I'll watch it and see if you're right. And that brings me to another question. If there's any horror fans out there that have got husbands, wives, partners who don't like horror movies, and you are desperate just to talk to somebody about horror movies, and you got nobody to talk to about it,
reach
please
it.
reach out to me because I love horror movies. My grandmother opened my world to horror when she took me to see the original Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984, and I was absolutely terrified of that movie. But that opened up my world to horror, and I love, love, love horror movies. So, as I said, we watched Last Rites last night. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really great ending to the
Yeah.
series. The devil made me do it. That was
I liked that one. I
nah.
thought it was interesting.
They got it done Conjuring Part 1, Part 2, and then The Last Rites and left out
You
3.
see, but The
But
Devil Made Me Do It was a different way of looking at it all.
yeah, it
And
just for me it just didn't make
I
it.
liked it.
It
And I
wasn't
hate
scary.
horror movies.
Yeah, it wasn't scary.
It had some intense moments, but it wasn't your jump scare and whatever. Okay, in my opinion,
Mm.
The Devil Made Me Do It was more along the lines of The Exorcist.
Yeah, that's probably I mean I love The Exorcist, but I think The Devil Made Me Do It was too long-winded. There was too much backstory, too much explanation.
See, but I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
really
yeah, but
liked it.
I thoroughly enjoyed the Last Rites. I thought that was amazing. Well,
Yeah,
not amazing, but it was a great movie.
it
So
was basically about the final case that Ed and Lorraine retired and retired from what they
yeah,
did. Yeah.
yeah. A lot of people have said that Ed and Lorraine Warren are charlatans and this and that. I'm happy for you to have your own opinion. That's fine. I personally don't believe that. I believe what they did has helped out a
Yeah.
lot of people, and they are the real deal.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that will beg to differ. That's fine. But that being said, I love horror movies. If you are interested in talking to somebody who loves horror movies, reach out to me,
Yep.
please.
Yep.
Please, 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 please,
Paul
please.
loves the horror movies.
Yes. Now, what is our question for the week?
What's the most ridiculous way you've ever injured yourself doing something completely normal? I was cooking something and I went to move a brand new unopened jar of peanut butter. This is back in the 90s when they still came in glass jars. And I dropped it on my foot and broke my little toe.
Oh.
And I had opening night of a play that I was in that night. And I even had to have a fight scene while I was in said play.
Oh,
And I remember going to the after party for opening night, limping into the restaurant, and somebody stopped me and asked why I was limping. And I said, "Oh, I dropped a jar of peanut butter on my foot and I think I
broke my
broke my
toe.
toe." And they're like, "Oh my God, just now?" And I'm like, "No, about 2 o'clock this afternoon." And they're like, "But you didn't look like you were hurt when you were on stage tonight." And I said, "Thank you. That's called acting."
Yeah, I was gonna say that's acting.
Yeah.
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 And
And
then
the other time okay, so I've actually broken a toe or a foot 3 times.
okay.
The first one was actually when I was at university and I was living in my first apartment, and um my roommate's boyfriend and another friend of ours were over and they were roughhousing a little bit, and I went to get out of the way, and as I was picking up my foot, his came down
Oh,
and broke my toe.
yep.
And the third time was just before I moved to Australia. So it would have been right about this time of year, actually,
Mm,
when the snow was finally gone, the ice was finally gone, and the world was starting to warm up. And it was that first incredibly beautiful, warm spring day where you just want to go skipping and la-lying everywhere.
mm.
And I managed to hit the one piece of ice that was about that big in the parking lot, and I went down hard and I scraped up my hands. I screwed up my knee. I torqued my leg, screwed up my knee, and fractured the side of my foot.
I was not there to look after her, everyone.
Mm-mm.
So,
And when I was at the hospital, they put the brace on me. I had my backpack on, and I was wearing like a like a boot
mm.
for my foot. And I had them take a picture of me on the crutches with this. And Paul's like, "Are you sure you want to move to Australia?" And I sent him the picture and I said, "What do you think?"
Yeah, I was
Because I am done
concerned.
with winter.
Yeah.
If I never see snow and ice again, it's too soon.
And then she was having soup in the living room and gave herself second and third degree burns,
Oh, second degree burn.
secondary burns.
Yeah, I've still got the scar.
Yeah, yeah,
And it spilled on Oliver, but fortunately his coat was thick enough that he didn't even realize it.
yeah. But she
Yeah.
spilled hot soup on herself
Yeah,
where I
that
had
was about a
to,
year ago.
yeah, I had to race in and pull the hot soup like the her because she spilled it onto her t-shirt that started to soak through, so I had to pull her t-shirt off to make sure it
Yeah.
didn't, go any further. But yeah, she was in a great deal of
Yeah.
pain with that one.
Yeah,
So,
that hurt for about 2 weeks.
hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that is the question for this week, everybody. So email us.
Cat has done stupid stuff.
So email us, perpetualmotionsquad00@gmail.com. You can answer us in the comment section of Spotify, or you can answer us like people have on YouTube. So just let us know.
And
The
the
the,
Facebook page.
the question will be, you've heard the question, just message us on the comment section, that or as she said, the Facebook page.
Yeah.
So
Yes, so can you beat me with feeling stupid doing
yeah,
dumbass stuff like
let's
that?
see if someone can beat Cat for feeling stupid like
Yeah,
that.
I don't think Paul can.
No.
Yeah. Okay, and we want to thank you for being part of the family. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to or watch this podcast.
Yeah.
Please, and if you are watching the podcast and listening to it, please make sure to follow us. We love having you along and want to make sure you get notified as soon as something new drops.
Now we know that there are a lot of people watching our YouTube channel right
Yep.
now because not obviously not right now because we're recording this. It's not you, but the last episode, the guitarist amplification, we had 46 views.
Okay.
Cornhusker 23, the creepy candy coating colliery 18. I mean, our all-time big one was Rachel's one
Yeah.
at 108 views.
Yep.
So we've got 20 subscribers, which is absolutely wonderful. Thank you everybody who has subscribed to our YouTube channel. We never thought we'd be popular on YouTube as well as being popular on
Spotify.
Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. So we really do appreciate you guys for taking the time out of your busy day, evening, morning, whatever, whenever you listen to us, to spend some time with us. We really do appreciate it. So, you know, We are
Yep.
very, very grateful for what you guys have done to help us be the number one podcast. So,
Yep, definitely.
and if you want to show us a little bit of love, but
There you can shout us a coffee.
yeah, if you want to shout us a copy, that would be awesome.
Any, if it's $1, if it's $10,000, we
Yeah.
gratefully accept anything and everything because this is a labor of love for us, and knowing that you appreciate it is it gives us the warm fuzzies. And if you want to shout us a coffee, we would love for you to do that.
And that being
There,
said, it's not a labor. We actually love doing this. Yeah.
there is a PayPal me link everywhere on the Facebook page, in the Facebook group, on Spotify, and wherever you're listening to the podcast, in the show notes, as well as the pardon me, show notes for YouTube.
Yep, absolutely.
So feel free to just do that. Send us whatever, $5, $10, $20, whatever you want to do. We gratefully receive it because we do love sharing this time with you and having you as part of the fam here at the PMS Big Bang Theory fan podcast.
Oh,
What did you do?
I'm just looking at season 3, episode number 9. Guess who arrives?
The vengeance formulation. I'm not sure who.
Bernadette.
We finally get to meet Bernadette.
We get to meet Bernadette.
I thought we already did the date.
Nope, this is it. We've done no.
What's
Oh
inter
no, shit, no. They haven't. We haven't. We've met her. That's right. She was at the restaurant. But this is where Howard starts to have doubts about his
Oh, is
relationship
this
with
the I
Bernadette.
Read episode?
No, no, no. That's way.
Which by the way, Patsy Bisco does
Yeah.
not get credits in IMDb for Warm Kitty.
Oh, she doesn't.
Nope.
Oh, okay. No, this is the
Okay, I
one.
need to
This is
bring this up. Hang on.
this one is
Episode
after
guide.
the next one is after the third date. Bernadette wants an understanding with Howard about where the relationship is headed before proceeding to the next step of sex. Remember, 3 dates is
Yes.
apparently sex, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Who would have thought?"
Oh, but now I know why they call it what they do.
Yeah.
Sheldon's on the radio and Kripke.
Yes. Yes. And also, this is also
Where did we see that? Oh, it was Freakier Friday with
Freakier
the
Friday. Yeah.
where they created the same stuff that they did in
Yeah.
Kripke's lab.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And also, this is the next episode is when that Howard is fantasizing about being with Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, the I Read
I read. Yes.
episode,
Yeah. So
which is
that
probably the most quoted one that we do.
yeah, we do. So yes, that is coming next episode.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We can't wait to see you next time for season 3, episode 9, The Vengeance Formulation.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, we'll catch up with you at the Cheesecake Factory.
Bye everyone.